this thing that's been going on between, and I don't know how true it is because I don't follow these Spanish media. So obviously it'd be in Spanish, wouldn't it? But then it was about a player, Vinicius Junior, and the manager Xabi Alonso, and I think there's been a bit of a friction between these two actually, because then I think the board is had to address Vinicius to say, listen, that's your manager. He's the boss. It doesn't matter what caliber of player you think you are, but yeah. But then I can understand why. Well, I say I can understand, but not quite. I'll get to it anyway. But Vinicius Junior is asking for a pay rise. So in his new contract, I think he's been offered. Obviously, there'll be other things tied to it, other contractual agreements or whatever. But then he's been offered 20 million euros. So he's been offered 20 million euros on his renewal to stay at Real Madrid. He's asking for 30. His reason, people like Ronaldo have had that sort of, pay, in that pay bracket anyway. Now, is it worth what he's asking for, Vinicius Junior?
Well, I've watched him a few times, and clearly he's an excellent player. I mean, he's got all sorts of abilities, not least dribbling. He's got a great football brain, a sense of knowing where his players are. And I'm sure I saw the other day when reading about this that he was quite adamant. Perhaps I'm misremembering exactly what he said, but it was certainly implying that he doesn't want to play for the team anymore. I guess unless he gets his pay rise, but I felt it had gone beyond that. And the point of the article that I read said, and Premier League teams are now on alert for this, because I mean, it'd be good if someone of that ilk, someone of that quality came to the Premier League. And it's in a way, it's about time we got one or two players back from those Spanish clubs, because it tends to have been one-way traffic. I mean, we've never had Messi here, did we? We have Ronaldo years ago at Manchester United, but Messi has never, trodden the land of this country, which is a shame, because, as I've always said, we all enjoy watching the world's best players. It's incredible to see these top players, what they can do. And I would love to have seen Messi. I mean, I saw the other day that even he was sort of saying, oh, I want to go back to Barcelona, but I don't know whether that could happen. I mean, he left because of the financial situation Barcelona were in, with their corporate owners and things. So he had to go because of what he earned and all sorts of other intricacies about it. So whether times have changed and he could go back there. And I also wondered whether it implied he wasn't over happy, or he doesn't like the idea of staying on at Miami in the North American League for much longer. But I only really saw that in a statement out of the context of what he was really saying. So he may be quite happy there for all I know. But he certainly seems to say, I'd like to go back to Barcelona. But I've never heard him say, I'd like to go to the Premier League, which is an attraction to many of the world's best players. Let's face it. We had Suarez at Liverpool, didn't we, for quite a long time, and he then went to Barcelona, along with Messi, of course, when he was there. I think it would be good if Junior came to us. If it doesn't work out, then you've got the situation, would a Premier League club either be able to, well, they probably could pay his wages, his 20 or 30 million, but you just get a feeling. But you just get a feeling that that's going to upset the apple cart with the other players at the club. The top players, particularly if he's on 30 million. I mean, that's like 2.5 million a month. You think about that, 2.5 million a month. And I guess when we think of players' salaries, very often, I think in this country and elsewhere, the club also increases their salary so the tax is covered. Players at that level here are going to be taxed at least 45% on all the money, as far as I understand it, 45%. So if you're on £1 million a year, which a footballer would be on more than that very often, you're paying nearly half of it goes straight back to the government. So it's a bit of a penal, it's a penalty of your earnings, really. So maybe that's what can put some players off. I don't suppose he will come here, but yeah, I don't really know enough about why he's fallen out with Alonso. These things sometimes are sorted out, but once they hit the press, it usually means it gets worse one way than another, with one side saying things about the other side. So no, I'd like to see him here, but I don't suppose it will happen.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll see if any of the because I read the same thing you read about Premier League teams being on the watch out for Vinicius, in case he doesn't renew his contract there. Now the next one we're going to go to is Harry Kane on a Barcelona move. So rumors anyway. He addressed it as rumors.
I saw that.
He said, I haven't had any contact with anyone. Nobody has contacted me. And he says, I feel really comfortable in the current situation, even though we haven't discussed my situation with Bayern. There's no rush. So it's sounding like he's really okay where he is, which he should be, really. Would a move to Barcelona do him any good? Because bear in mind, there's Marcus Rashford there already, and there's Yamal. Would it fit in? How would it fit in?
Yeah, I mean, on the first point, really, you say about he's in no rush to leave. And I think we talked before about this, and I read fairly recently that his wife doesn't want to leave Munich. She's very well settled. I mean, they've got kids. I don't know how many kids they've got, 2 or 3, maybe 4. But obviously they're growing up in an environment in Germany, probably a very nice environment, one way or another. So you can understand a family member, your partner, putting down the roots, even though, let's face it, they must know that footballers' roots very often are not that deep.